Hello all and welcome to Wayne's Allotment. So what have I got for you this time round? Well, I've had some goodies delivered, so we'll delve into that. I'll show you a little bit of what that's all about. I sow the first of my flowers for this year, couple of which verbena and cardoon spring to mind. I've never grown them from seed before, so I want to grow those. I do a bit of continuation of sowing with regards to cauliflowers, because I'll show you how my all year round cauliflowers are getting on. They've been potted on and are currently out in the greenhouse, and as is always the case with me, who knows what's going to be in there. There could be all sorts in the video. I'd like to thank everybody that watches my videos. Please like, comment and subscribe if you want to. It's all very much appreciated. So without further ado, let's crack on. Thanks a lot. Right, I've got some more seeds that I want to sow. These are all flowers, all these, and I've had a request from Barry R asking me how I produce my numbers for on my pots. Well, I use this little thing. I bought this from Aldi. You can get it from a vast range of places, but at the time the price was good. They have a little cassette that goes in. This is just white paper, but you can buy them with plastic. You can get different coloured plastic. I think you can get transparent. You can even get some that will some special label material that will iron into clothing, so that's good with regards to children and sports equipment with school. So I'm just gonna do one label for one of these to show you what's involved. So you just switch it on and it comes up. The display isn't very good. I think it's a bit of a waste of time. I'll try and show you. You've got all the letters. You press this button here for numbers. That now activates the numbers that are printed on here. There's all sorts of icons, and the instructions that come with this, it's like War and Peace. Absolute. There's a load of stuff to read. So I'm just going to do here, this first one that I've got here. These are Rudbeckia Carnival caramel mix. So, and I've numbered them up so that I know what numbers I need to do for these. So we'll start with, so because I've pressed the number icon, B becomes number 2, and that's 27. So G becomes number 7. I then just space it on. The print button, I'll show you. Can you see? I think you can just about see that. Then the print button, that is now printing. This button is the cut, and there we have it, number 27 to go with these Rebecchias here. And I shall go through the rest of these. That you can hear in the background is the parrot, by the way. The wife's in the front room and I think the parrot's kicking off, shall we say. So back to gardening. Yeah, brilliant bit of kit this. I think I bought this for, I think it was about £15 in Aldi. And I bought different tapes. I've got some plastic and some more paper tapes, so it'll keep me going for absolute age. When you've finished, if you want to clear it, you go cancel, OK, clear all, bang, and there you go, it's all cleared. To turn it off, just press the button again and it's all blank, all turned off. It runs on 4 AA batteries. I've been using this for quite a while and there seems to be no sign of the batteries going flat. It does suggest in the instructions that if you're not going to use it for any length of time, to remove the batteries. But I've left them in and I've been using it for 3-4 months now. Admittedly, I'm only doing little things like this, but I have used it for bigger labels, and it's a great little bit of kit. So Barry, I hope that keeps you, that's informed you as to what I'm using to produce my numbers for my pots. I've just had a knock on the door and had a delivery. I'll show you where it is. Well, let's see. There you go. Now what do you think that could be? It's all soft and squidgy and hopefully the same inside here. So yes, all will be revealed later on. Right folks, no need to tell you that I'm in the greenhouse and I've got some seeds to sow, but this time it's all flowers. I'll show you what I'm doing, or some of what I'm doing. I'm doing cardoon, I'm doing some verbena, I'm doing sunflowers, these are Russian giant, and I've got cornflowers, calendula, Rebecchia. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be using these little pots. As you can see, I have an excess of these. There's something, I think there's something like about £2.20 for 10 in garden centres, but around about the middle of last year, I think it was, I don't know what garden centre it was we were at, and whether they were priced up wrong or what, I don't know, but they were priced up at, I think it was £1.50, about £1.60, something like that, for 10. So I just, we'll have those. I know the plastic, and you've seen me with my bamboo pots of late. I'd love it if these were bamboo pots, but because I'm keeping these, there's no way I'm going to throw these away. So these'll probably see me out. I'll probably be pushing up daisies before I'm planting daisies in these, you know, with them being plastic, and look after them. Anyway, I digress. Back to what we're doing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, take an example with the cardoon. Now there's 25 seeds in here. What I'm going to do with one of these pots, I'm going to put about 6 seeds in at the most. To be perfectly honest, I only really want one plant. I've been offered a root, or part of a root of this cardoon. Somebody on our site has got, it's a belter, really lovely plant. But I want to do it from seeds. I want to be able to say I've grown that from seed. You'll understand where I'm coming from. You know what it's like. You do your own from seed, and there's nothing that can touch it. So I'm going to do about 5 or 6 in one of those. With things like cornflowers, I shall just do a bit of a scattering, a bit like I did with the dahlias. If you look back on a previous video, and you see with the dahlias, do a bit of a scattering, so there's about sort of, you know, maybe about 20 seeds in there, because once they've started coming through, I can then pot them on, put them into big seed trays, bigger plant pots. Still put in, use some of me 6-7 inch pots I've got, and I could probably put a dozen plants in and then plant them out in one big lump. Who knows? So before we go any further, I'll get and fill some of these with compost, and I'll bring you back when we're doing a bit of sowing. Right, so we'll get compost in these. The compost, as ever, is clover, multi-purpose, and because I'm using it for seed sowing, I've sieved it beforehand. I've just put it through the sieve, just a little garden riddle, just to just so I've got something nice and fine for the seeds to work into. I'm not firming it down too much, again, so that the seeds can get their roots down, basically. So that's all the pots done. Right, so what are we going to, let's do cardoon. Again, the numbering system, number 20, my little number. Put these on the pots. I should have probably done this before I started filming, because it's so fiddly it's untrue. Let me bring you back when I've stuck all these labels on. I can't get the backing off this. Right, so all pots now numbered up after that slight glitch, and we'll start with the cardoon. I have had this pack open. I love this. Just look at that, for the way that's, and there's instructions. Quite interesting this here, because it says sowing instructions, and it says sow at any time of the year except early to midsummer. Brilliant. What more could you want than that? So let's have a look. Oh wow, look at this. Oh, that's nice. Quite large seeds as well. I didn't realise. Look at those. I didn't realise they were that big a seed. Although I suppose should do really when I think of the flower head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just push those just slightly into the compost. I'm not going to show you me sowing all the seeds that I've got here. That would be just a bit too much, to be perfectly honest. So there are there's 6 seeds in there. I'll put the rest back. I may, in fact, although I've not labelled one up, let's have another pot. I'm going to put a few more into another pot. One, two, three. I'm going to put some of these end on as well. 4, 5. That'll do. I'll have them 5 in there. Put them back into there, that back in, and I'll put the instructions back in, and doing the packet up couldn't be any simpler. Brilliant. I've written all these down in my book so that I know what number relates to what seed. And again, a good old vermiculite, just scatter over the top. Because these are a bigger seed, I'd probably get away with just covering with a bit of extra compost, but I'm going to use the vermiculite on them. So that's those done. Next job, what's the next number? 21, and that is verbena. I bought a couple of plants of these last year. I think they were about £5 each from a garden centre, and put them in the garden at home, and they've done really well. And I thought I'll do some from seed this year, and I'll put some of these on the allotment. And again, let's just have a look. It says sowing indoor, it says February to April. Well, it's the 26th of January today, so I'm gonna do them. Oh my, wow, best not sneeze. Look at that for seed. Wow. So I think I'm just wondering as to whether to actually cover this. I think I will put some vermiculite onto them, and we'll put them back into there, just in case these don't take. I will put a very, very small that's it. I'm not putting any more on those. And eeny meeny miny mo, where's that gone? $22. There we go. That's the Russian giant sunflower. Now these are going to be quite large seeds. I will put these, yeah, as I thought. So again, I'm going to push these in. I don't know whether there's a right way or wrong way with these. I know that some people with things like runner beans, broad beans and so on, they put the seeds in a certain way up. Some people do. I don't know whether there's a right or a wrong way to do that. I'm not going to cover these with vermiculite. I'm going to use a little bit of extra compost, and as you can probably tell, I'm going to do another pot for those. I'll just drop them, do another 4 in there. So now I've got to be very careful because I've got 2 pots without labels on, but I'll know which is what because the cardoon is covered with vermiculite. The sunflowers aren't. Right, so let me bring you back round to here. So I'm going to carry on and do the rest of these, the calendula and so on, but I'm not going to bother filming all that because, you know, I don't want to bore you to death. But I've got them done. Once they're all finished, I'll bring you back and show you them all laid out. They're going to go into the house and go in the propagator, and once they've reached a reasonable size, they'll then be potted on, especially things like the sunflowers and the cardoon. Once they've got a reasonable size, I'll put them into individual pots. They'll probably go into pots of this size, like I've done with my peppers, so that they can stay in there for some time, get a good root ball well established before I need to then either pot them on or maybe put them out on the plot, who knows, dependent on the weather. So I'll bring you back in a minute or two once I've got all these sown. Right, that's all those sown. There's Rebecca, Cosmos, Zinnia, there's the giant Russian sunflowers, Verbena and the cardoon, and they will now go into the propagator in the house and be watered, be left in there, and I will do another sowing of these in about a month's time, and then look at doing another sowing maybe a month after that. I'm not sure yet, because I want to try and get a bit of a continuation of flower. Once these start to come into flower, I'd like to think that my next sowing are close to coming and so on, so we get get flowers all through the growing season basically and into autumn, especially at the moment with the way the seasons seem to be changing. So yes, that's a bit of a selection of flowers sown so far this year. Right, so you saw the little clip there, the knock at the door, and I'm not going to say it was Postman Pat because it was a courier, but what have I had delivered here? Well, without further ado, let's get and crack on. Let's have a look what we've got. Looks like we've got a bag in a bag, although that's what I was hoping for. Let's use my special, these are very special scissors, fit anybody's hands, these. Doesn't matter what size fingers, thumbs you've got, they'll always work. Yeah, I don't think. Hello. UK mail. Ah, so it was UK mail that these have been sent through. So let's see if we can find out what's what. It's Christmas all over again. Well, yes, as you can see, it's compost. Seed and cutting compost. But as you can see, can you see that there? Peat free wool compost for seeds. That's what that one is. I've been after some peat free compost for a while. Let's spin you around here a minute. I've been after some peat free compost for a while. Saw this advertised in a magazine. I've seen it advertised before, and you know, I've tried to get this from my local garden centres or from various garden centres around and about, and they, even when you ask questions, it's as if you're talking a foreign language. I mean, we have all of us at some time or other have got to start using peat free, and it's, I don't know what it is, it's as if, as I say, you talk a foreign language. I've asked at garden centres, some have been very good, and they've gone away and made an inquiry, asked somebody else, and come back and said, at the moment, sorry, but I can't tell you when we are going to have it in. We are going to have some, and so on. Others are just, you know, I think I may as well, I must have been talking to myself with some of them, because they just didn't want to know. So we'll have a look now. Let me whiz you back round, and we'll have a look what's in here, because that was some peat free compost. So what, pray, could be in here? I'd like to find out myself, to be honest. And there we go. Again, some more. Let's whiz you around a little. Oh, move that. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. And some more peat free wool compost. That was, again, that's the wool compost as well. I read a very interesting article in a magazine recently explaining about this, and it's, again, obviously I'm going to repeat myself, it's peat free. It's made from wool. I believe how they've done this is they've found some way of blending bracken. They cut bracken at a certain time of year and they blend it with the wool, and it produces peat free compost. And I think, now don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I think it said that with this there is no need, if you were growing tomatoes, you could put these into a pot, a bucket, whatever you're growing your tomatoes in, put the tomato plants into this, and there is no need to feed them throughout the year. I find that a little hard to believe, but they reckon that you can use it for that, and then in the following year you can then use exactly the same compost without treating it to grow other veg, I think salad crops and things like that. And I'm sure it said that in the third year then you could use it as a mulch round trees, plants out on the plot, as a mulch, a dressing on your beds and so on. So I'm going to try it. I've got some seeds to sow, but I'm not going to do them. I'm going to use, let me just get rid of that, because that's in the way. I mean, I've got no axe to grind either way. I'm not sponsored by these people, but as you can see, wool compost for potting. That's your, I believe that is your general multi-purpose compost, and then this is for seed sowing. In fact, while we're here, come on, let's bite the bullet. Let's have a look what this is like inside. That, can you see? I need to just tip you up a bit. That doesn't look bad stuff at all. It's quite fun. There is little bits of bracken and so on, but again, it's something that we're going to have to learn to get and live with. Let's have a look at what this is like. Let's have a quick. Let's bring you back up to what we're doing so you can see me slash my wrist open with these fantastic pair of scissors. Oh wow. Well, I've got to say, let me just find a pot and just put a bit in this. Oh. This is very nice. This, it's as fine, I'm going to say that's as fine as the clover compost I've been using. There's no doubt whatsoever. It smells like normal compost. There's a few bigger bits in this, which I'm assuming are going to be possibly some of the stalks from the bracken. But as I have said, and will no doubt keep saying, we've all got to get and use this at some time or other, and I thought to myself, I'm going to experiment with it this year. I'm going to use it alongside my existing composts that I use, like with clover, and I'll do some parallel tests, and we'll see how we go. I'm going to do some more seeds, and I'll sow them in this. It does feel. I'll tell you what it feels a little bit like. I don't know whether any of you have ever used Jack's Magic, but it feels very much like Jack's Magic compost. A little sort of earthy, a bit, feels a bit like handling, you're actually handling soil with regards that's the one for the seeds. This one, well, this just feels like the clover compost that I use. So I'm very, very pleased. So we'll do some tests, we'll try it out, and we'll see what we come up with. You will be the second to know as to whether it's any good or not, that's for sure. But yeah, so that's what I've had delivered, a bit of peat free compost to try out this year.